Hi friends, Angelica here. Welcome back to my channel. It's that time of year again where I start making handmade Christmas gifts, and I thought it would be fun to share my process on making sets of cards. So we're going to make a set of 7 Christmas cards and a matching stationery box. Most of the products that I'm using today are from the Greetery shop, including the Stationery Box Dies. I've been looking forward to sharing my process with you, so let's get started. Starting with the inside sentiment, I picked one from Sentiment Suite Christmas stamp set, and I'm using my well-loved Simon Says Stamp transparency grid to help me line up the stamp evenly. I stamped all 7 cards and then moved on to the front of the cards. I'm using a branch from Winter Sketches stamp set and my MISTI to stamp the branch in the upper right corner and the bottom left corner. I'm starting with Pink Fresh Studio Gathered Twigs ink for the branch. And this is such an easy process, especially using the MISTI. So I'm going to stamp the top right corner, and then I'm flipping my card base. So the left bottom corner is now up in the right corner, and stamping the branch again for the second time. Once I've stamped all 7 cards, I'm moving on to the second layer in the stamp set, which is the needles. I'm stamping the needles with Tailored Expressions spearmint ink, and I'm stamping the same way I did with the branches. I'm making sure that my card base is really snug in that bottom left corner, and that's going to give me the same stamping for all of the cards. The third layer for the branch is the berries. I'm stamping the berries with Pink Fresh Studios Passion Fruit. This is a lovely light, warm red, and it has a vintage feel to it that I love. This is one of my favorite red inks to use. The last layer for the branch is the berries detail. I'm going to use Pink Fresh Studio candied apple ink to stamp the detail work. The passion fruit ink is the lightest ink in this color family, and the candied apple is the darkest. So there's a great matching contrast using these 2 inks together. For the sentiment, I picked Opposites Attract Holiday Stamp Set. Now there is a coordinating hot foil plate which is sold separately, and I just showed you a quick glimpse of how it looks with gold foil on white cardstock. Today though, we're just sticking to the stamps so the cards stay a single layer. I'm again using passion fruit ink to stamp Christmas, and this ink is going to dry smooth, so the word is going to be nice and crisp. The last of the stamping is the second part of the sentiment. I picked the word greetings to stamp almost on top of Christmas, and I'm using VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink, which is my favorite ink to stamp black sentiments with. I love how well the 2 fonts in the stamp set work together, especially that script font. It's just so lovely and sophisticated. There is an original Opposites Attract stamp set with the same fabulous fonts. That set is more universal, so it has sentiments for thank you cards, thinking of you cards, birthdays. It just covers so many themes, which makes it a great value for your money. There's also a matching hot foil plate if you like to hot foil words, and coordinating dies. Now that the stamping is all done, it's time to ink the edges. The cards are pretty in white, but I wanted to age them just a little bit, so I picked Tailored Expressions Toffee ink to blend around the edges. And you can see how the ink changes the front. Now, to finish the edges, I pulled out Frosty Corners Stencil to stencil a few snowflakes. I did spray the back of the stencil with pixie spray, so the stencil had a little bit of tackiness to it, helping it stay in place. I'm sticking with toffee ink also to blend over the stencil, and I'm using a really light hand when I'm blending. This ink color is already light. I just want the snowflakes to be a delicate background. You can see that it's there, and it's just bringing another great layer to the cards, but it's not distracting. Pulling the stencil back for the final reveal, I was so happy with how it turned out. The stencil gave the perfect look that I was wanting. Since these are Christmas cards, I thought it would be great to add a little bit of sparkle to them. So I'm adding glue to the tops of the branches and berries. I'm using art glitter glue, which I keep in a needlepoint bottle. This needlepoint really helps me control the glue since the glue is really thin, and it also helps me make thin glue lines for the glitter to hold on to. The clear glitter that I'm using is Rock Candy Distress Glitter, and this glitter is perfect for sparkle, and since it's clear, once it dries, it resembles ice, so it's perfect for winter scenes. Now it's time to start the stationery box. I'm starting with 2 panels of Neenah Desert Storm 100-pound cardstock. These panels are almost 6 inches by 7, and I'm going to stamp them with an outline branch from Winter Sketches stamp set. I'm again using toffee ink to stamp the branches, which this ink coordinates perfectly with the Desert Storm cardstock. I'm actually using 2 outline branch stamps, a large one and a small one. The small one is great to fill in any gaps that I've left between the larger branches. And once I finish stamping both panels, I'm going to die cut them with the large box die. I'm using the half circle die, which is included in the box die set, to die cut an opening on the panel, which is going to be the front of the box. And the opening is going to help the recipient be able to pull the cards out easily. Now the die leaves little dots around the opening, which is just a lovely added touch of detail for the box. To assemble the pieces together, I'm adding double-sided adhesive to all of the tabs. Then I'm going to use my bone folder to really crease the tabs on the scored lines. And creasing the scored lines is really going to help make sure that the box edges are sharp. My last step before attaching the box together is adding a magnetic disc to the inside of the front panel. I'm putting one inside the box and one on the box flap. These magnetic discs are what's going to keep the flap closed. Now, this particular brand of magnets is Basic Gray, and you can find them in the Greetery shop. To make sure that I'm positioning the magnet correctly, I'm using my Tim Holtz ruler that has a 0 center, and this is going to help me be sure that I am in the middle of the panel. This is important because the second magnet is going to be exposed, and it's going to snap onto this first magnet. So using a ruler and putting the first magnet in the correct spot is going to make it easy in the end, and the magnet's not going to look off-centered. Assembling the box together is really easy. I just take my time to make sure that the panels line up straight, and then I push the panel down onto the exposed adhesive. I will do the same with the other side and also with the bottom. I actually came up with the concept for this box a while ago. I approached Betsy, who's the owner of the Greetery, with my idea, and she loved it. So she sent the design to her die manufacturer, and they were able to produce the dies. So now this box is available for anybody who wants to make it. It's been a lot of fun to see a concept that I've been thinking about really become a reality. And I'm just finishing up the box by closing the bottom right now. I want to make sure that the adhesive, the double-sided adhesive, is really adhered to the inside of the cardstock. So I'm going to use my ruler and just stick it down into the bottom of the box and push those papers together to make sure that that adhesive is really bonded. Now it's time for the flap. I've already stamped a branch onto white cardstock, and now I'm making a quick outline of where I'm going to be placing the die. This outline is going to help me know where to blend ink since I want the flap to match the cards. I usually will blend ink on projects before I die cut so the ink looks soft and it doesn't pick up any indents that the dies might leave in the paper. I did pull out Frosty Corners stencil one more time to add a few snowflakes around the flap so it coordinated perfectly with the cards, and then I folded on the scored lines, added adhesive to the tab, and attached the tab to the inside of the box. It's easiest to do it if you turn the box around so you're looking at the back side, because you want the top of the box to match perfectly with the top of the folded flap. Now I'm going to put that second magnet on the inside of the flap. And to do that, I'm actually going to put the magnet with the adhesive side up onto the box so it snaps with the first magnet. I stuff the box with some card bases and envelopes so I can push down onto the box and not buckle the box, and that's going to help the flap grab the adhesive that's on the magnet. I also decided I wanted the outside branch on the flap to look icy like the cards do, so I went over the branch again like I did with the cards with my glue and the rock candy glitter, and just set that aside and let it dry. The glue takes about 10 minutes to fully dry to where you can't like flake off the glitter. It has a really strong bond to it. To help hide the white tab from the flap, I'm going to cover it with patterned paper. I found a really pretty red on red Christmas print from a paper pack that was in my stash. I cut it down to fit inside the box, and I'm going to add a strip of adhesive to the back of the paper and then slide the paper into position inside the box, take the adhesive backing off, and press the paper down good. And that's going to finish the box. And I just love the pop of color that red paper gives to the finished box. And here's a final look showing how the 7 flat cards and envelopes look inside the box. It's a perfect fit, not too snug. Now, if you want to have some dimension to your cards, you might be able to fit maybe 4 or 5 cards, depending on the dimension. But the box just makes a perfect way to gift your cards. I am so happy with how this set turned out. The whimsical look of the branches next to the toffee snowflakes is so gorgeous, and that toffee ink just brought the perfect amount of warmth to this set. That's all that I have for today. I want to thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed what you saw, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more, be sure to subscribe. I'll be back shortly with another video, so I'll see you then. Bye.